Secretly recorded from deep inside the bowels of a decommissioned missile silo, we bring you the man, one single man who wants to bring light to the darkness and dark to the lightness. Although he's not always right, he is always certain. So now, with security protocols in place, the protesters have been forced back behind the barricades and the blast doors are now sealed. Without further delay, let me introduce you to the host of Hutcast, Mr. Tim Hutner.
Thank you, Sergeant-at-Arms. You can now take your post.
Today in Hutcast, we're going to have a conversation about banking laws. The banking laws and you, what you should do, what you shouldn't pay attention to, all these things that are going to be like, it used to be a $10,000 limit, now it's at $600. Holy crap, guys. You got to listen to this one. And then coming up, a mother destroys a school board about what they're teaching their kids and what kind of things they're teaching their kids. It's crazy to hear this kind of conversation, but I'll tell you what, it's something you should all hear. You should all get engaged. Stand by, Hutcast. We'll be back in just one moment.
For home and workplace comfort, we here at Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning have over 30 years of residential and commercial experience in replacing, repairing, and doing general maintenance on your heating and cooling equipment. Call the experts at Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning. For all your indoor comfort needs, we are located in Coon Rapids and serve the entire Twin Cities area. Call one of our professional technicians today at 763-757-5040. That's Dependable Heating and Cooling. Again, 763-757-5040, Dependable Heating and Air.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hutcast. All right, let's jump into the new proposition by Presidential Biden, or I like to say Obiden. He jumped into the tax realm. His plan to focus your dollars to make sure that they get what they've got coming to them. A little background on this. Back in 2014, anything with $10,000 and above had to be reported as a suspicious transaction to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. But now, thanks to you-know-whom, Biden would like to take it to $600. And that's part of his reproducing the people who actually should pay more of their fair share, which that ain't the 1%er at that rate. At $600, do these guys have a function? They're trying to fill the holes that everybody else is doing. Remember, these guys tax the rich, tax even more. The rich should pay more. And again, rich is a relative term. What does rich mean? Personally speaking, one guy's rich is another guy's poor. But come on, people. Have anybody done any research on this? Because I'm just hearing about this, and I'm going to tell you a little, for instance, that happened to me personally. Now, it wasn't about the $10,000. It wasn't about the $600. Mine was more about something a little different. Now, heads up on this. As all you know, I'm a strong 2A supporter, and we are also a gun facilitator. We are a Class 7 weapons manufacturer, along with an FFL license to do so. I had to wire some money to a purchaser, a company that we buy product from. And sending a check just seems so archaic. It was one of those deals where they're on the end of their mail stop and it takes them 2, 3, 4 weeks to get a check that we send in normally overnight, or 2 or 3 days. So I told this other guy, I says, look, how about we just take this and do an EFT right into your account? And they thought, hey, we've never done that, but maybe it'll be faster so that we don't have to play this game. We all agreed to it, and we moved it in, and it was about $1,000. I send this this amount to my bank. I says, hey, Mr. Banker, send this wire transfer EFT this into this account number and this, that, the other, and make this happen. And they said, oh, that sounds good. We'll start making this happen on a regular basis. Not an automatic withdrawal, but a withdrawal nonetheless. They send this down there. I get a call a little later that afternoon. They says, hey, this is going to a gun shop. I said, okay. Well, we have to know what you're buying. We have to know what you're buying so we can send this money to this other place. I says, hold on here. What do you mean you have to know? Well, it's banking regulations. Banking regulations tells me what here? I mean, you really, at this point, I'm pretty lit up, right? And I said, hold on. You as a bank have no business what I'm buying. I could be buying explosives. I could be buying nuclear weapons. I can buy whatever I want with my money, and you can't do nothing about it because it's not your business, nor is it the government's business. So I was kind of beside myself, and the poor banker, she's just following rules, and they're like, I just have to follow rules, and I went, no, we ain't playing this game. We're not playing this game at all. Well, this is how they're going to control people, businesses. This is how they're going to control, and I say by they, whoever they think they need to control, those people who think that they're our government. I mean, that's plain and simple. Our government has decided that they need to get in the business of being in my business. And personally, I'm like, come on, guys. So the gal, after I raised enough stink about it, didn't know what to do. She still had regulations to follow. Ended up sending it through and called it inventory. Well, I don't have to describe what I'm buying, and it's none of their damn business in the first place. This is what I think this IRS thing is going to go down as. Now, this is not just a business now, guys. This is you. They have supercomputers on standby, ready to monitor every action and reaction of your checkbook coming in and out of it. And Obiden is pushing on this for the IRS rejuvenation of funds. Okay, now let me explain that. Now, I read in Forbes magazine how they have a deficit in the tax dollars. This money that they've been giving away to Afghanistan and blowing in all our equipment and all this stuff that we've been just going, hey, this ain't right. We know this. The conservatives sit back and say, this is stupid. But we got to keep being a kinder and gentler nation and keep giving our stuff away. Where do you think this is coming from? This tax IRS code reform is you. Their idea to just tax the rich or the richer just changed from you and youer. Now, I don't care how much you make, $600, what do you buy with that? You got a family of 5 or 6 and you shop at Costco for, I don't know, a month's supply of groceries and you blow $600 in a heartbeat. And they need to know about it? Okay, so the second part of this question for me is, how are you going to monitor it? How are you going to police it? The big key here is you don't make a law without ways to enforce it. Again, like our gun laws, they want to keep imposing things on you so that they can control you. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. They call it a bipartisan bill. It's a bipartisan bullshit. Just to let you know that's what this is. You need to stand up, write your Congress guy, write your whoever is in your area. And again, we're in 40 countries and we've got over 75,000 listeners. This don't apply to most of you, but for the ones that do, you need to step in and say no. Now, I did hear of a bank down in Texas. So Texas says to this bill, to the Obiden administration, says, you are not engaged in this and we will not report this. Well, I don't quite know how that's going to work because I don't know enough about the banking laws and who holds is there a license? Who's the guy in charge of that in the Internal Revenue Service? Heads up, guys. You really need to understand how much of an overreach this is. They're going to monitor you. And again, they are the government. Again, don't care what side of the aisle you're on. They have no business being in your business. And if the government's job is to tax you, and that's their business, I think it's time to find a new government. Not saying to overthrow, but I need you to pay attention. This is when the sheep start watching and the lions start roaring. Don't let this happen. Pay attention to this one. Call anybody you know. Get on Hatebook. Reach out. Find someone who knows more about it. Do your research. Don't be the guy on the inside going, oh yeah, they just did that. Because at that point, what are they going to do? Knock on your door? Step 1, knock on your door. Step 2, what have you got? Step 3,
Can we take your gun? Step 4, your illicit behavior towards law enforcement, and we have to stop you. Again, it's kind of a reach there. I get it. You non-conservatives are small when I'm stepping in about the overreach because you don't believe in a lot of that, and that's up to you. You knock yourself out. But us guys who believe in it, believe it's our business. Everybody should be upset on this one. So these sources I got was the New York Times, Forbes magazine. I read all these. They're all on open source. Hit their websites, read about it, Google it. Fox Business jumps in on it. NBC Miami's all over it. Ocean Times Herald, that's a good one over there. They really did a good write-up on that one. Pay attention. Stop them in their tracks. Vote accordingly. And I feel sorry for a lot of the Democratic people that in my audience. Because those guys are true Democrats, and I stand up for that, and that's the right. But I do believe the Democratic Party has left the Democrats. My gut feeling is the old school Dems, which are basically today's Republicans, have picked a side. Because the socialist Democrats, the socialist communist Democrats, are the ones who stand up. The AOCers, the bitch crew, all them people are just all over this. The Pelosi, hey, we can give more to people. Go look at Pelosi's, home state. I don't think California is in any position to teach us how to do this, just like our Board of Health guy, whatever its name is now. I mean, here's the guy who's a transgender turned into a girl teaching us how to do our thing because, we got to listen to that. Not a fan of that. Don't believe it. Look her up. Look it up. Him, her, it, she, pronoun, whatever it is. Heads up, guys. I just wanted to get you on page with that. I'm going to take a break. I'm about 10 minutes into this segment. I'm going to try and shorten some of these up when they're standalone. Hutcast will be right back. Now a word from our sponsors. Today's sponsor in part by Excel Roofing. Excel Roofing. They do it all. Roofs, siding, framing. You need a house? Give Excel a call. I've used these guys personally in the past, have a professional crew, they're conscious of your job, and they want to produce the finest quality of craftsmanship available. Excel Roofing, 763-712-0757. Again, 763-712-0757. Excel Roofing, Dayton, Minnesota. Hi guys, welcome back. Hutcast is I'm going to start a little different approach to this segment. I want you to listen to a little clip that we got off the web, and you just need to just soak this in. It's kind of important, so listen close, and we'll talk about it as soon as we get back.
Procures bids for ISU with construction and came to your school and spoke to your staff for 2 straight days. Why did she do that? This is why she did that. This is why she did that. To make sure that when our students want to know whether or not they have a vagina or a penis, they have pictures from your staff to be able to help them. They don't have enough sex. They don't have enough anal sex. They need adults to tell them how to masturbate. And what I call that is so here's what I'm asking you. You have a hard time hearing this from me, but this is for 10 years old and up, and this bill was passed for 5-year-olds. And you have a hard time me sitting here telling you the words anal sex, masturbation. That's hard for you, or the time's up? Because the time's not really up. I don't believe you, Mr. Wiley, that my time is up. But I'm going to end with this. I'll close with this because this was too much for you. I can tell right now. And that's why you're cutting me off. But last time I said, you know what? Critical race theory. Little girl in the back was laughing every single time Megan said something because white people oppress black people, right? Isn't your principal black? Isn't your mayor black? Now I would like to introduce to you Ty Smith.
Holy cow. Yeah, they cut her off. They cut her off real good. And I have a new hero in life, and she's it. So if you think about what she said in that sentence, in that paragraph, between the critical race theory, the agenda in which they're teaching these woke kids, and I'm telling you, it's a thing, and you need to understand what this thing is, because the less we pay attention, the more they're going to do what they think they should be doing, and they're wrong. So she mentions in this discussion with the school board, which, by the way, she just handled them big time. Hey, she handled them like it was a little kid in a candy store, and they eventually just cut it off because you can hear the end of the audio. It just stops. So she makes this happen. She says her point. She's totally disgusted with the fact that, you can't teach individual gender as a whole. You have to teach the men and the women, or the boys and girls, their functions, their parts, their pieces, so that the woke people can't go out there and teach them indoctrination. These schools are indoctrinating these new kids. These little minds of clay are being indoctrinated by these people who are just, in my opinion, nuts. And, I'm sure I'll get plenty of hate mail on that one. But I at this point, I don't care. Send your hate mail. Because this gal's right. She's 100%. She's got this wrapped up. She knows what's going on. She don't like it. So now the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to engage, in schools around you? What is your function in here? Now, my kids are older, and they're starting to have their kids. And I believe it's kind of my duty to step in and say, hold on here, you guys. I mean, as a taxpayer, this isn't how we should be raising our children. And I say ours because it takes a village to raise a child. And these guys who are raising them their way instead of the way that most logical people would raise them are just out there throwing these terms, these indoctrinated terms, in these kids' heads. Now, you heard her say 10-year-old, okay? For 10 years old and up, what were you doing when you were 10? Were you thinking about binary neutral, gender, whatever? Because I didn't even know what the heck they were. So I must be old. I must be too old to realize that the woke society, and again, I misuse that woke. It's almost like a race thing for me. I don't like the fact that woke is a new term for getting away with crap. Just like what's the other term? Love is love. Now, love is love is an original situation that, the LGBTQRS, PUZ, WYZ guys had spun up because they wanted love is love. But when a lot of people use it, if they actually dug into love is love, it's, again, a 50-year-old, 60-year-old man having sex with a 12, 13, 15, whatever, 10-year-old. Because in their country, that's a thing. In our country, I consider it a jail sentence, because if anybody touched our family, not going to happen on my watch. So this gal who is all lit up, and I agree with her, is trying to educate you. This video went viral. It took care of a lot of questions that, a lot of people aren't paying attention to now. And if you're one of those parents that think this is okay, you are the problem. And if you have a problem with that, come find me, and I'll explain to you where your problem is. Because if you're not smart to figure it out, maybe someone smarter than you can figure it out for you and educate you just enough to realize, no, that ain't how you raise kids. So we had covered a critical race theory in a couple episodes back, and we had philanthropist Bill Hoffman come in and give us his teachings. Now, I cannot give you his accreditations, for it would jeopardize his living situation, his financial, his job. So we just call him Bill Hoffman, philanthropist, singer, songwriter, extraordinaire kind of guy. And he described in his earlier podcast with us at Hudcast what he sees happening. And I urge you to go back and listen to that one if you haven't already. And if you're a sequence guy, you've already listened to it and you get it. But anyway, I am beside myself. How can this stuff be taking place in our schools? Is this going to be the big rush on private schools and parochial schools and all these schools that don't have public education? Because if it is, good. Then the public education system needs to be pinched. And they'll feel it. They'll feel it in their checkbook. They'll feel it in their attendance. Well, I'm sure they'll get money somewhere else. I mean, they've got levies that they can impose on each area, which they normally do. But if they don't have the attendance, there's a formula. They're going to take so many people for so many amounts of tax dollars that's given to them from you. So I advise everybody to go out there and shift their brain into gear and just listen to what's going on out in the world about this. Because, again, I am one of these people that if you're going to do this, and it's not going to be on my watch. And if I have anything to say about it, we had some of this in our local school. We had a gal here, Twin Cities area, and she was a English teacher. Well, this English teacher decided that if you're a white, straight, male, heterosexual, she couldn't stand you. Well, guess what? Some people got involved. School board got involved. School board directors on page. It's on social media. She's getting her ass kicked, and I'm okay with it. So, it doesn't take much, but it does take something. Engage these people. Confront them. Stop them. Because if you got, kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, whatever it is, it takes a little bit of your time to ensure that this country ain't going completely crazy. All right, we are about 9 minutes into this segment. I, again, didn't mean to rant about this section of video, but holy crap, guys. We can't have this. We cannot have this. This is not okay at every level. So ask your grandkids before, you go, off the deep end on this. What are they teaching you? Try to be very discreet about it. Hey, what are they teaching you this? What's going on? And see some of the materials that they're actually doing. And make sure that if these materials are kept in the classroom, you actually have to go to the class and look at it. Because they will keep this under wraps in order to protect their ass. Engage. Find out. Talk to other people's kids. Just have a conversation with them and say, what are they teaching you? And again, a 10-year-old? I don't know. Something to think about. All right, Hutcast is almost 10-0 into this one. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
And that's a wrap for Hutcast. Hutcast is, again, a pragmatic approach to seeing things how some people see them. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook site. Again, for Hutcast, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.